Up TIs and non-TIs, this is Corey TI here. So I mentioned this when I was at the airport waiting for my flight. I told you that this black woman who looked suspicious was looking at me and was saying, oh yeah, this guy got a big head. You might say, well, did she say your name? Did she, she could have been talking about anybody else. It doesn't matter. She was looking, her body, you go by body language, but 90% of body language is nonverbal. And she was like, oh, look at this guy's big head. And I was experiencing heart palpitations, but it wasn't my heart. It was the chip, the nanotech chip that so happened to be vibrating very fast at that same time. And it was eating away. I could feel it. This is true story. I don't care. You guys could think I'm crazy. I don't give a shit, or off my meds or whatever. This is what I remember. And it felt like it was eating away at my brain, the back part of my brain. And I experienced, because I hadn't gotten sleep in probably 3 days, getting out of the hospital, psych ward, Huntington Beach psych ward. I think at that point, well, I didn't sleep that night at the hotel, Huntington Beach Hotel, that my brother booked me. And then I had not slept on the plane on the United flight from LAX to DC, Washington Dulles, and then from Dulles to Scranton, and that thing was vibrating and it was eating away at my brain. And then when I came here to PA, experienced the same thing, and my mother had to take me to the hospital, and it was eating away. It felt like it was eating away at my brain, the frontal cortex of my brain. This thing is slowly fucking killing me. This is part of a fucking slow kill operation to slowly fucking kill me. I have a brain chip inside of me, and I have a nanotech chip, a life support chip that gives away all the false information about me. If you're not into this, aware and awake to this targeted individual community, have nanotech chips are real, then it's not for you. But this is the truth, the best way that I could explain it, and the truth. This is evil, and my own family's been fucking involved in this shit. They're fucking evil, and they're involved in this shit, and they know it, whether they want to admit it or not. They're not going to admit that they're involved in this shit. It's too much for them to do, and they're probably under an NDA and don't want to get retaliation or something, or become part of the program themselves. So they're not going to admit it. They're going to keep deny, say he's crazy, deny. How could you say this, about us when we gave you all this stuff and this and that? They're going to deny it. I will never expect them to admit it. Once investigations start going and I seek justice if I'm alive to, then what? What are they going to do? Even with all the evidence in front of their face, they'll still fucking probably deny it, even when they get a guilty verdict. Even the people involved too in the gang stalk, other people out there in SoCal, are such pathological liars and narcissists, they'll still deny it, even when the evidence is dead in their fucking face. That's how psychotic they are. They're psychopaths. They're not going to admit to this shit. They'll fucking shoot somebody dead in the face in Times Square on camera in front of millions of people, and they'll deny you seen. They'll gaslight the shit out of you and everybody else. That's how evil they are. That's what narcissistic gaslighting is. This is Corey TI. I'm out. Peace. This is Corey TI here again. So another thing I wanted to mention, I'm going to add into that video, is that when my heart chip was really, I was really freaking out. It was vibrating very fast and eating away at me. I was talking to my brother over the phone, and he's like, is anybody saying anything to you or looking at you or something? And that was kind of telling. It wasn't full proof that he knew that he was probably in on it or whatnot, at that very moment. But it was kind of telling to me, or a little I don't know, interesting that he would say that. Maybe he knows about it. I don't know in that particular moment, but I just figured I'd say that.